focused a bit when you were talking on the pricing issues, but one of the things that we certainly worry about is if we were to embark on a project like this, pricing or not, how would we actually fill it? How would we get the community engaged? How would we get them to look at it as a place where, they would view as an anchor to the community in the region?
Yeah, so I think a couple of things have been very important in our community, which is, in addition to providing good programming for the community in general, it's very, very important to provide community service as well. So our community really values community service. So if we had only been about fitness and yoga and Bollywood, we would not have got the support we've got if we didn't have a very, very important and vibrant senior program. So we do a lot of work with the seniors in our community, and that's one of the programs that helps bring in the donations. People see that and they recognize its value. The other thing we did is we've opened a free medical clinic, which is staffed by all volunteer Indian physicians, two half days a week. And in fact, I'd love for you to spread the word. It's focused on people who are uninsured. So no questions asked. They don't have to show their immigration status or anything. If they walk in, they say, and we don't even ask them to prove they don't have insurance. They just say, I don't have insurance, I need to be seen. We see them. So that's the second thing. The third thing is we run a free legal clinic every Saturday, and we run a free career counseling clinic every Sunday. So these are the sorts of services that the community appreciates, and so when you appreciate those, you get the donations. But other than that, we've just done a lot of very conventional marketing, a lot of PR, a lot of getting people to write articles about us in all the press, television, and a lot of social networking, a lot of emails. We have now a database of 12,000 Indians. So we've built that up. Anybody that walks in the door, if we get their email address, it goes into the database. So we do a lot of marketing using the internet. So that's how we reach the community. The way we keep the community is by programming. And so we do very frequent what we call town hall meetings, where we invite community members to come and tell us what they would like us to do for them, what kinds of programs for kids, for teenagers, young adults, working professionals. So the key is that we have to have programming really for every demographic within our community. So that if young working professionals, say, want to come and do yoga or want to learn Hindi, and they have children, they don't want to leave them at home, there have to be corresponding programs for the kids. And vice versa. If we are doing, dance classes for the kids, the parents don't want to just sit there. Can they go work out in the fitness center, take a yoga class? So one thing we've discovered, it's really important to have multi-generational programming.
You touch a bunch of organizations in the community, women's causes, music, business organizations, things like that. Can you talk a bit about how you bring it all together? Is there a way to sort of unify that under one umbrella? How you share information and best practices between those various areas?
Well, all of those causes are what my husband and I do as individuals. We do look for synergies whenever we can. So, for example, we've endowed this music chair at UC Santa Cruz. My husband's on the board there. So we collaborate with UC Santa Cruz on music programs. So if they want to bring an artist, for example, to the Bay Area, and the artist's fees are X, they say, well, we can't afford X. And so we say, okay, let's share the artist. They can go to Santa Cruz, and we'll do a performance at India Community Center, and then we split the cost. So we do those kinds of things, but only, on a personal level. So Thai, I've been very involved with Thai from day one. So now we do a lot of Thai events in the ICC banquet hall, auditorium. IPBW, the Business and Professional Women, we do a lot of their events at ICC. So we bring a lot of the Indian nonprofits to ICC. So it's become a place where they can have their board meetings, have their annual events, their galas, their, whatever they want to do, because we are the only one that has such a huge actual facility. We have a restaurant, we have conference rooms, we have the fitness center, we have the banquet hall, we have a professional event management staff that puts on meetings like this. So we kind of use the infrastructure really to tie it together. That's been the sort of the easiest way, and then just let, the programming kind of cross-pollinate.
I'd like to open it up if anybody wants to.
I've always been in awe of Thai, and I'm hoping you could tell the Iranian community a little bit about it. I think we're very interested in professional networks, and right now we are sort of at an inflection point. Everybody's trying to network and get going, but networks are getting all mixed up. So we have mixers, but they're all over the place. And when I look at diasporas, I see these clean kind of business networks, philanthropic networks, political networks, and Thai has been spectacular, probably the most successful Asian group. So could you tell the people a little bit about that?
Sure. Actually, Thai was the first organization we put together back in '93. And it was really born out of necessity. There were actually about 8 or 10 of us who were entrepreneurs. And we had done it the hard way, because I started my company in 1982. Tanval Rekhi started his, I think, the same year, Naren Gupta, 83. So by the time it was 93, we had all been successful, but we realized that we had done it the hard way. We just had to bootstrap and figure out how it's done. And so we said, wouldn't it be great if we could meet once a week and exchange ideas with each other? It started with that, as helping each other. And then it evolved to, we ought to be able to help the next group of entrepreneurs and introduce them to bankers and lawyers and venture capitalists, because they're going to be in the same boat we were. So then we expanded it and said, put the word out that if you're thinking of starting a company, we'll give you free advice. And you can tap any of the 8 of us for that. And from there, it really took off, and we realized we needed a structure, and put the structure in place. And now it's in, 25 countries, and we have, I think, 75 chapters all over the world. And ThaiCon every year draws about 4,000 people, only half of whom are probably Indian, the other half are not. I think the key to that was very early putting in place the structure and recognizing that if you stayed with the entrepreneurs and continued to mentor them, and they were successful, they in turn would give back. And it proved to be wildly successful, because the next generation of entrepreneurs were funded by many of us. So we actually ended up being angel investors. That's how all of us got into the angel investing business. We didn't think of it that way, but that's what we were doing. We would just say, okay, 8 of us, let's pull in 50,000 each or 100,000 each, get this guy going. And those companies became very successful, and then they in turn turned around and gave far more than we ever did. And so it had this, snowballing effect. The key, I guess, is just that we kept the structure very flexible, we learned as we went along. And the cost structure was basically much easier to manage than a community center, because in a professional organization, everyone is willing to pay if they think they're going to get something out of it. And so just to go to a Thai networking event professionals will think nothing of paying $50